we had an idea of who we wanted to be like, and we just listened to those bands as much as possible. But then at a certain point, you have to stop using them as references. You have to go, okay, well, this might be what this band would do, but we want to do it this way. And I think that's when you start to develop your own sound.
Get Radio Breakfast with Rich Smith.
It's Get Radio's Band Week. We've been inundated with phenomenal bands. I mean, it's been absolutely amazing. I've been chatting with Joe actually on the 19th Hour, who's on the show. I'm sorry, that was an awful introduction, Joe. Morning, Joe. How are you? Right?
Morning, I'm good, thank you.
I was just rambling on and stuff about our conversation. But we were actually just chatting during that. A couple of things. Firstly, every song that has played before a band has come on has been the most inappropriate song to lead up to them. Like, you would never purposely go, we're going to go from Mike and the Mechanics to the 19th Hour now. So apologies about that. But also, you were just saying that you've sort of caught up on a few of the videos that we've been posting about a lot of the bands on here, and you sort of said that it's been absolutely fantastic. There's loads of great stuff out there.
Yeah, I mean, me and the guys have noticed it because obviously we follow the page anyway, and it's just really interesting to see how much talent there is around the area and how many different artists there are. Like, if you don't have platforms like this, sometimes you'll never hear about these artists because there's so much going on. So it's just been really interesting to see.
And just from a personal point of view, I mean, you have your style, you have your band, you have your kind of lane, I guess, to sort of say in terms of music. Do you discover kind of other music? Is it an active thing that you kind of look at across the county and kind of see what's going on, or sort of friends with different genres, I guess, maybe is the question?
I mean, like, a big part of that is, especially when you start gigging at the beginning, you get put in with bands that might not be similar to you at all. So you discover a lot of different musicians that way. We've played gigs, with 4 different bands, and every band's been completely different. You've had a blues band, and then you've had like songwriting, and then you've had us, and then you've had a metal band. We played with some thrash bands. So you discover a lot of artists that way. And then you kind of keep a mental note of, oh yeah, we should go check them out another time. So there's a lot about, and I think it's just, people need to get out and watch it.
Isn't that it is the thing, isn't it? I mean, there's so much for supporting and saying this, but it's the most important thing. Is it the most? Well, I'll let you answer it. Is it the most important thing that people can do is to go and support live music, whoever it is?
I think so, yeah. I mean, listening to the music and coming to watch us live it's why we do it. The reason we write music and the reason we do this stuff is to go out and play. I mean, obviously there's the streaming aspect of it, but that's just another way to get more people to come to gigs. Personally, for me anyway, I know the other guys in the band might have a different opinion of it, but gigging is the end goal. So if you don't gig to anyone, it's kind of, but we're getting to a point where we've been gigging for quite a while now, and we're starting to get people come to gigs who we only know through music. So I think that there is an audience out there. It's just a little bit harder than it used to be.
I sort of just focusing on that because it sounds like a stupid thing, but that's it. That's the reason why everyone's making this music, isn't it? Everyone's making this music not to sit in their bedrooms and put it on, quietly and go, oh yeah, I made this. Oh, that's all right, yeah. Isn't it great? You're making it to get out there for someone in the audience just to be like, this is great. I'm rocking out to this. I'm dancing to this. I'm swaying to it. I'm getting emotional to it. That's the point.
Yeah. And I mean, that's those are the moments that kind of make it when you're playing a gig and someone's interested or someone's felt in a certain way and they come up to you and ask, to speak to you afterwards. It's one of the best feelings like you can kind of experience as a musician, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, let's kind of put it back onto the 19th Hour. Sorry about talking about everyone else. for that
We've gone about this for hours.
A little bit. It's because I've spoken to Joe a couple of times, so that's all good. It's all good. So tell us a little bit more about the band, because sort of another strange one. The pandemic. I keep mentioning it. Here we are in 2023. Pandemic was a weird old time for a lot of people. The band started 2019, and then obviously
tail end.
Oh crikey! So the tail end. So literally, you've formed. You've got the members. you're kind of ready to write, you're starting bits and bobs, and then bang, right, you can't go out anywhere. Did you? You said that you said before that you actually use that time to write a lot. Do you think that was weirdly, I'm putting a positive spin on it, weirdly quite a good thing?
I think that, I think I've spoken about this before. At the time, it felt really, really frustrating because we'd spent like the last 3 months of 2019 writing songs. We played a gig in January that went okay. Then we played one in February and we're like, oh, okay, we've got a cool set now. This is going to be great. We've got the summer coming up and spring. And then pandemic happened and we couldn't even practice for 12 months.
Yeah.
So it was a real blow at the time, but I think that we kind of had something that some bands don't get, whereas we had 2 years to go, okay, let's write some stuff, let's chat about it, let's do as much as we can outside. You know, what type of music do we want to do? What type of stuff is the plan? So I think that although it was a horrible time, it did benefit us a little bit in a weird way. We came out kind of the stall, like we came out running because we had an idea of what we wanted to do and we had an idea of the music and the way we wanted to perform. So, I mean, it's still hard the first time you go out there. You can prepare as much as you want, but the first time you get on stage, it's going to be weird.
Yeah, especially after a pandemic as well. Totally bizarre. I wanted to sort of speak about again. It's sort of finding your sound. And I've not actually spoken about this with anyone else, but in terms of finding a sound, how difficult is that? Maybe, okay, this is me being a little bit blasé about guitar-based, sort of rock bands. But when you've got the certain instruments that are basically there, you have your guitars, you have your singers, you have your drums. How difficult is it to kind of change that sound? Because, like, I know we chat about you're influenced by Arctic Monkeys, Nothing But Thieves, and all this kind of stuff with other bits like Muse and Radiohead in there. You're sort of plucking all these things that exist that are already sort of there. How difficult is it to mold your sound?
I think that with us quite early on, I mean, I've been in other bands before, so I've experienced that kind of thing where you can't find your sound or you're all pulling in such different directions that instead of creating something new, you're creating something that's just not worth listening to. But with us, we had a very clear idea of what we liked. But when we started, we were completely different musicians. I mean, Adam was more of a blues guitarist. Reese had played in like more poppy rocky bands. I had only done acoustic singing. So we had an idea of who we wanted to be like, and we just listened to those bands as much as possible. But then at a certain point, you have to stop using them as references. You have to go, okay, well, this might be what this band would do, but we want to do it this way. And I think that's when you start to develop your own sound, when you start to think less. I think early on it's important because you kind of listen to songs and you go, oh, I see what they've done. That's how they've created this dynamic, or that's how they've done this. Maybe we can do something similar. And then it kind of gets to a point where, it's just kind of like muscle memory. Your body learns what to do. Like the same way as I don't think about how I play the guitar anymore, you just get better. And I think we've got to a point now where we know what is our sound, and when Adam sends me a guitar part, I go, yeah, that's 19th Hour. I can write that straight away. I can feel the melody, and you bring it to the band, and then it just works. So, and that's kind of, it just happens.
Yeah,
when it does, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I just like listening to you, and just I had a buzz when, like, just you saying like, oh, you get that thing back and you go, yeah, that's us. Yeah. It's like, oh wow, what a buzz. But
then that's always changing as well. Like we still write songs now, and we go, well, this isn't like us. This is different, but how can we push it and how can we make it so it still sounds like us, but it's not the same thing? Yeah. So it's a fun experience.
No, it really, really is. I'm buzzing for that. So tell us a little bit about what the summer's looking like for the 19th Hour. Also, whereabouts where we can find you, socials, etc., etc.
Yeah, so we're all over socials with 19th Hour. We are gigging pretty regularly. We have a gig at least once a month, I think, up until October. We are going to be playing at High Wycombe with Linkin Park cover band I don't have the date on me, but it will be on our socials.
It'll be there, no worries.
And then we're doing Bunkfest in Wallingford. We're playing 4 gigs over that weekend. That's a massive free festival in Wallingford, and we are playing in the town the whole weekend. And then we've got countless other stuff. We're in Wantage as well soon. So if you keep an eye on our social media, it'll be on Instagram, it'll be on Facebook, and we'll push it as much as we can.
You'll be there. And finally, we're going to play Modern Casanova next up. Tell us a little bit about this.
So this is it is released now. No one's heard this. This is an exclusive. When we got the okay for the interview, we thought, well, we've got this song we haven't put out, so this seems like a good time to do it. So a lot of fans of the band who've been following us from the beginning will know this song because it's one of the first songs that we wrote together. It's one of the first songs that kind of, we felt was our style. It's influenced by Arctic Monkeys, so people might recognize that. It's so it's a new single. You can stream it now. It's everywhere, and this is the first time it's been played.
Oh, well, there's another little buzz. Bless you, Joe, for that. The 19th Hour. This is Modern Casanova. Enjoy.